Let's Get It, where we attack today's local or national hottest sports topics. I'm your host, Randy Duncan, and let's get after it.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Get It. I'm your host, Randy Duncan, along with the co-host and producer, Jason Bryce. And as always, the co-host, Coach Marcus Bullock, coming to you on a beautiful Sunday morning. A little chilly out there, but other than that, it's a good Sunday morning. Going to get into a lot of good conversation today, and we are also going to be joined in a little bit by Overbrook coach John Rosser. So that's going to be a good interview. But as usual, before we get started, I'd like to check in with everyone. Coach, how you doing this morning?
Man, I'm doing okay. You know, I'm just not feeling this weather, man. It's just, I know you said it's a little cold, but it's extremely cold.
Yeah.
Whenever I get in my car and it says anything, when it says like 12, 14, that's not good. But other than that, man, everything's going well.
Well, I mean, I know Jay will always bring up the time that, but I was driving him the one time and it was winter time. And he was like, you have the air conditioning on in the car and the windows were open.
Right.
So, Jay, how you doing?
It's about as cold as it was that day, too. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm doing well. Decent week. Just really getting back to myself a little bit. Just been very busy, but doing well, man. Doing very well. Looking forward to some games this afternoon. Some games last night, too, man. I'm glad for San Fran. Just doing well, though. Doing well. Just, trying to hopefully get warm soon. It's already starting, though, but if you think about it, because it's getting darker later.
Right.
Yes. You noticed it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a little slight change. So maybe like 5:15, 5:20.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll be here soon. But we're all preparing for March because January is a little easy to get through. February is definitely easy to get through. But March, that's the killer. I often say that it's like driving through Connecticut or Virginia. And if you ever driven through those two states, you know it takes forever.
See, I gotta say, March is one of my favorite months. March 1.
Your birthday or something?
No, March 1 is the first day you can get out for baseball. So when that calendar turns to March, I love it.
You get out there? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. We'll be out.
Oh,
I want to go back to your Connecticut, Virginia thing. They need to make those states bigger on the map.
Right, because it don't seem like it's that big, right?
It's super deceiving.
It is. It is.
You've been there for 4 hours.
Oh, my God. Still going through. Right.
Oh, it absolutely is. I remember we used to drive up there all the time, and it was like, you're still in Connecticut?
Still in Connecticut.
And then Virginia, like you said, oh, my goodness.
Right. And it don't matter. You can try different little ways. Yep. Sometimes I try I'll take the Merritt Parkway back. Right. Nah, don't matter. You're in for Connecticut forever.
Oh yeah. It's always been that way. It's always been that way. But it's it's been a good day. Like you said, with some good games last night. To get into that a little bit, I was very happy to see the Niners beat the Packers, and I was happy to see the Bills beat the Bengals. The Bills beat the Bengals. The Bengals beat the Titans, and they were just. I was happy because they were just good, solid football games,
right?
And that's what I enjoyed watching. The Bengals are going to be something to mess with over the next few years. I was saying yesterday, that AFC with the young quarterbacks. You got Mahomes, you got Josh Allen, you got the quarterback with the Chargers, Herbert, and then you got Burrow. It's like that, just loaded out there, and it was a good game to watch, a very good game. And with the Niners game, I just thought there's nothing more football playoff like than when you're watching a Lambeau game and it's snowing. Yeah. So it was like just that it was just an unbelievable atmosphere. So, Coach, you get a chance to see. What was your thoughts?
I didn't watch the game. I saw the highlights, followed what was going on. What are your thoughts on what happens with Rodgers now? Because that wasn't supposed to happen.
No, that was an epic failure.
There was already turmoil. What do you think's gonna happen with him?
I don't know. I think that Rodgers is very, obviously, conceited, self-centered dude. He is not, I don't think he's a team guy by any means.
I agree with all that, but he's also one of the best quarterbacks ever.
He is. And he knows the opportunities out there. I don't know. I think that it's It all depends what they do around him.
Right.
I think, because there's a lot of free agents, a lot of big name guys like Devontae Adams, their receiver's a free agent. If he doesn't come back, I tend to say that he he leaves, and it kind of almost is like a situation where another Packers is great, ends his career somewhere else.
Also, like a Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Is he? I mean, Brett Favre had. It seemed like some of his skills were diminishing when he left Green Bay.
Brett Favre.
He didn't want to take no sack. So,
No.
He'd be scared for his life.
That's why
he went from there to Minnesota, and then from Minnesota to New York, I think. And he was right there.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot he finished with the Jets.
Finished with the Jets.
Yeah.
Scared to death though. Take a hit. I actually like Rodgers. His game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is he selfish? Does he come across a little self-centered, privileged? Yes, he did.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially with the whole, with the whole vaccine thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I think that's
the thing. I love the player. I don't like the guy. So I have, and it's funny because now when he was drafted and the Niners passed over him, and he said that the Niners are going to regret this from now on, and he's 0-4 versus the Niners in the playoffs.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, though. I mean, I just kept thinking last night while I'm watching the game, right? I'm watching the game, and I'm saying to myself that, you know what? The 49ers are going to be right there. I mean, Jimmy G can't make a completion. Right. He's scary. He's scary out there, but their defense is top notch. And when they made Rodgers made that nice throw just towards the end of the first half. Mm-hmm. You just knew it was going to go into the half. Them being because it was 7-3. Yeah. You knew it was going to be 14-3. And that defense came up, big plays, and then blocked the field goal.
Yep.
I said, that's a momentum changer.
Oh, it was. And that was exactly my thoughts, too. I said, it's going to be 14-3. That's going to be too much for the Niners to overcome because, and then, like you said, it was a game-changing play. I think, NFL for the NFL, obviously, they were probably hoping for a Brady Rodgers NFC Championship game.
For sure.
If they have today, if Brady doesn't win, the NFL's gonna be like, oh, great. Like it didn't really play out the way it is. I think that personally, the Rams are going to take out the Bucs today, but that's it.
Where are they playing in Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think so too. Let me ask you, which one's more disappointing? The Rodgers and the Packers or Dak and the Cowboys?
I think it's Dak easily.
I think it's Dak too. Uh-oh.
Wait, no. That was just we good.
You got a little gargle.
It was just a gargle. We're good. Okay. It was just a gargle.
He's good for 90 days anyway.
Right. That's good. I know, man. I know, but go ahead. I'm sorry, Coach.
But so you think it's Dak? Right?
I think it's Dak.
I think it is too.
And I think it's the Whedon boys, all that stuff.
Right.
You just
I agree. I think
every year it's the year. So
yeah.
When you lose in the first round.
So with Stephen A. Listen, Stephen A.
He rags on the Cowboys.
Yeah, but when he said they're an accident waiting to happen, he is correct in his assessment.
Yeah,
because it's always something. It just seemed like you'll get hype. You want to believe. You want to this. You see everybody and their mama come out with their cowboy gear. Yeah. And sure enough.
And it's crazy because they, in past years, they've had so many holes, so many flaws where, it's kind of like delusional fans, just being like, that's my team.
Right.
But this year, I thought they had a really good team.
Really did. I was actually,
I thought they had a really good team. And I get, so it has to be something else. And it's changed coaches, and it's got to be. I don't know what it is, but something's wrong in Dallas.
It is, and that was the thing. And even as an Eagles fan, you don't want to see the Cowboys be successful, but you had to give them credit this year. I said this might be the year the Cowboys make it to an NFC Championship game, or something like that. And I think it's an absolutely a bigger failure than Rodgers because with Rodgers, he's been there, and he's and he won the Super Bowl. They were consistently good. Yeah, it was an early exit, but. The Cowboys, it was the hype and the buildup and the money and to do that, they run away with the division this year and which wasn't too much to say, but it's interesting and it's interesting. We didn't even touch base and we kind of want to go that in a minute about because we didn't follow up from the Eagles loss last week, and just kind of the fallout you're seeing now from that.
What's the fallout?
Well, first of all, Jalen Hurts got rocked as far as, how he's not the man. You can see it in the way he plays today, and this and that. Yeah, I mean, he played poorly. I mean, you can't say he's not, but
the whole team played poorly.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the team played poorly. The team got rocked. Now,
the defense was horrible too.
Oh yeah.
So the team,
they did absolutely. The team got rocked.
What was it, like 30-something to 0 for the majority of the game?
Oh yeah, so, and that's the thing. But
you know what I'm saying,
it was just like you said it. You knew this team was way better than the Buccaneers, than the Eagles. You knew that they were outmatched.
Sure.
But even going into that game Sunday afternoon, Eagles fans were already writing it off and saying, I can't wait to see them fail because this is going to do X, Y, Z for the quarterback situation. And like I said, I'm sitting here and I'm saying to people I'm talking to and seeing fans, how are you not just sitting back and just enjoying the fact we're watching a playoff game? Yeah, we might get blasted, but thinking where we were. And either way, one way or another, do not judge Jalen Hurts on that game.
He's going to be judged. And let me tell you what's happening here. I actually went through something Sunday when I was having a conversation with somebody, right? And I said, hey, listen, come on, we're just going to do this. We're going to chill, and we'll be able to break bread. And what does that mean? When I say we're going to break bread, what does that mean?
We're going to chill. We're going
to eat.
Yeah, we're going to eat.
Right? The individual comes to me later on and says, listen, I don't like that ghetto talk.
What?
Just saying, I don't like the ghetto. No, I'm just saying, I don't like the ghetto talk. And I don't bring it up to, to kind of like chastise them because I think it's like it was an education moment. But I bring it up to say that being black in America, you're going to be judged, bro. It just is what it is. And you know what? Sometimes it just has to be said. It is what it is. You're going to be judged. And you're going to be judged. You're going to be judged more than you're going to be more supported and more patient. So it's like, you know what? I always bring up Carson Wentz because honestly, there was patience when it came to Carson.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? There's patience. No matter how much he messed up, no matter how much he threw the ball away, did whatever, and could go into the press conference and say, hey, listen, it is what it is. This is what you're going to get. I don't, never like, contrite or never just like, hey, listen, blah, blah. No matter what, it was always like, hey, you know what? We have to be patient. But when it comes to Jalen Hurts, no matter what he does, no matter bringing a team that was destined for failure, destined not to make the playoffs, he brought them into the playoffs. Yep. He made big plays. He made plays with what his strengths are right now. Yep. Okay, he's still working on some of his weaknesses, but he made plays on what his strength is right now, and still.
Oh yeah, it's an extra layer. I mean, it's an absolute layer that you can't overcome. Coach?
No, I completely agree with what Jay's saying. I wonder if Jalen Hurts was brought in to be the franchise quarterback in the way Carson was, would it be any different?
Right.
And I don't know the answer to that.
That's a good question. I mean,
so if you traded up and he was the guy, would it be any different? And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it'd be a little bit different, but not a ton. But what I took away from
I didn't even look at it like that. That's I was looking at it from another.
No, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I want when I watched the game, the Tampa Bay game, to me it was just like, oh wow, we have so many holes.
Yeah, right. We're overmatched.
So many holes, and the majority of the holes I see are on defense.
Yeah, we were getting picked apart. There was no. Secondary. I mean,
secondary
linebackers.
No linebackers.
And that's right.
So if you're an Eagles fan and you're saying, "Oh, we need a quarterback," and I said this before on our show, like there's something else going on in your mind because there's so many other holes. Jalen Hurts is an NFL player.
Yes,
period. We have guys on our defense who are not NFL players.
We have guys in our offense that are not NFL players.
So it's like.
You got guys like
Jalen Reagor.
He sucks.
He's horrendous.
What in the world?
He sucks.
That's what I mean. Like you're expecting this guy to succeed when he does not have any weapons around him. So the fact that he's able to succeed and, like you said, bring the team to the playoffs with guys like Jalen Reagor and JJ Arcega-Whiteside and all these bums that he's trying to throw the ball to.
But see, and I maybe that's just just the way I'm at right now. I got my lens on, right? So my lens is sharp right now. You know, it's been an interesting weekend, so I've had to have my lens on. But is Jalen Reagor worse than Riley Cooper?
As a football player?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was going to say absolutely. I mean, Riley Cooper
I think
was
so,
a
too.
Riley
Cooper sucked,
He
too,
did.
though. He sucked.
When Jalen Reagor was scared to catch the punt and then put his hands up like somebody else did something wrong.
I know.
I was like, who are you looking at?
It was so bad. And that's the thing, though, too. Like, and that's the thing with, like I said, about this whole situation is, if you, and I please do not want them to go get Russell Wilson or make a trade for Deshaun Watson or any of that, where people are like, go get this guy and, trade all these assets that you have and he's going to make the difference. No, he's not going to make the difference because you still, like you said, you need to go. Your first 3 draft picks should be all defense. The best 3 defensive players at a position of need, and not reaching or anything like that. Right. Just who's the best player available at that time, draft him.
Yeah.
And like I said, and you ride with Jalen Hurts and you give him another year and you actually, you have money to spend. So put some weapons around him. Go get a Devontae Adams, see what he can do with pair him with Devontae Smith. Do things like that, but do not go and get a quarterback and waste all the assets and think that's going to be the difference maker.
Where's the development at? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the a good quarterbacks coach to try to help Jalen Hurts? You know what I'm saying? That's what, to me, you would build upon, right? Like you see what you got and say, okay, the Sixers obviously didn't do that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It seems like it might be a Philly thing. I'm not sure. But it seemed like the Sixers didn't do that when it came to Ben Simmons. Where was the shot doctor? Where's Herb McGee?
That's true.
No, I'm just saying.
No, you're right.
Where were these people?
If Lonzo Ball can go from his shot to knocking down, threes and having
where were these people at? Where are the and I'll bring it up. Sometimes you're at the mercy of your coaches.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what they think of you.
And and it is. And that's the thing. The Eagles don't have, they got Sirianni, and like I said, I think Sirianni did more than expected this year. He exceeded expectations. But they do not have the support around him of guys that are knowledgeable and experienced enough to support a young coach. If you're going to have a coach like Sirianni, you got to have assistants and, like you said, veterans around him who can say, okay, look, you worry about that. I'm going to take Jalen Hurts. I'm going to take the defense. I'm going to do what we need to do and make them successful. Like
I said, again, don't mind me. My lens is on right now. And when my lens is on, I'm sharp, razor sharp. If you think about it like this, think about it. Sirianni's not getting no heat.
Listen,
he's getting praise.
Absolutely.
He's getting praise. Who's getting the heat? The players.
They are. And,
you know what I'm
saying? And Jared, who's watching, appreciate it. He said Jalen Hurts is a top 10 NFL quarterback. The fact that it's even a conversation is stupid. Lamar Jackson had a terrible playoff debut as well. It happens. I agree 100% with him.
He's absolutely right.
100%.
There's no way in hell Jalen Hurts is a top 10 quarterback.
That might be a little stretch. I think he's an NFL quarterback. I kind of agree with you, Marcus. I think he's an NFL quarterback for sure. Top 10 is maybe a rich. Woo!
That's a stretch.
Because I don't even know if Lamar Jackson is a top 10 quarterback right now.
Who's the top 10? Who's the top 10? Dak, Tom, Aaron.
Dak, Tom, Aaron. You got Herbert, Burrows, Mahomes, Allen. I know
Say Burrow?
Yeah.
Said Burrow. Yeah,
let me get the teams up here.
No shot. I know in just a minute or two we're going to be having our coach joining us.
No shot.
I was going to say,
how about this? How many teams made the playoffs?
14 now.
14 made the playoffs?
Yeah, because they got the 7 teams now.
He's definitely top 14, right?
Who, Hurts?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I don't think he's a top 14 quarterback.
But his team's in the playoffs.
Correct.
So somebody else, that team's not in the playoffs, is better than him, a quarterback?
Listen, I'm not hating on Hurts.
No, I'm not asking that. I didn't even go there. I didn't even go there.
I'm just saying. I'm
just saying, like, who else other than the top? He got to be top 14, right?
Is he better than Mac Jones?
Oh, yeah. See, Mac Jones. I think they just have different skill sets. But but would I take Hurt and Mac Jones over Hurts? Probably not. I think Hurts gives you more ability with his legs and with his arm.
He's definitely top 14 though.
Yeah, Jared says Hurts top 10. So I mean, like I said,
better than Kyler Murray?
No.
Kyler Murray on the Cardinals?
Yeah. We'll go top 15. I think top 15. He's top 15, right around that 13 mark, 14 mark. Either way, that's still a starting quarterback that you have.
Well, I mean, let's do what we do with Carson.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm just saying,
Okay.
but that's fair though. That's what I'm saying. It has to be fair and equitable. Now, Hurts took this team to the playoffs. Who was around him?
Nobody.
Still was able to get it done.
Correct.
So that does count for something as opposed to the other quarterbacks that have had weapons.
No, you're right. You're right.
Is that fair? Come on, that's got to be fair now. That's got to be fair, man.
Wait.
Come on.
Make that statement again. I want to understand what you just said.
All right. Hurts took this team to the playoffs with nothing.
Correct.
No receiving core. He had one receiver, Devonta.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else. Took the team to the playoffs, okay? Now, he took the team to the playoffs with less than maybe some quarterbacks that is in that quintessential top 10 or whatever who had more weapons around him. So something has to be said for that. Just like we celebrate Carson, he's the only one that threw 4,000 yards with each receiver getting under 500 or whatever that bullshit quote was or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that has to be good for Hurts as well. You know what I'm saying? For him to be able to take that team to the playoffs with really no weapons, nothing.
No, absolutely.
That has to be said.
I mean, like I said, I just think
Sorry, Randy. Does something have to be said for the fact that they didn't beat a team over 500 all season?
Yeah, I mean, you have to throw it in there too.
Well, wait a minute.
Just
I don't know. I mean, well, if that's the case, then we had to. That would be the same thing for anybody that beats a team like that, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, You're supposed to beat the teams that are not better than you.
Agreed.
But if a decent teams do that, if you're a bad team, you don't do that. You lose to those teams that are even worse than you.
So if you're putting up,
he did what he was supposed to do.
So if you're putting up numbers against the bad teams and struggling against the good teams, so your numbers still look decent because you're playing because of your schedule. Mm-hmm. Schedule's nobody's fault. Mm-hmm. Because of your schedule, your numbers may look better than they are. And even if you go to the Tampa Bay game, and this is my complaint with the Eagles all season, when the games are over, they get all these damn yards, they get all these damn touchdowns. Does that matter?
I mean, I think it matters. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. Let me be clear with that. I'm not saying all stats and data, scenarios, angles, they matter. But at the end of the day, like, the teams that he did beat didn't have 500. They were under 500, right? So he did what he was supposed to do, even as a second-year quarterback. Some veterans won't even do that. But as a second-year quarterback, he was able to do that. So that's to be celebrated. He did his job. Where I think that people predicting when he came in, he wouldn't even do that. Wouldn't even do that.
Right, I'm with you.
So even though that's the case, I actually think that when you pull that, there's data can be manipulated depending on what side of the argument.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's one of those data that could be pulled to say, well, Hurts is not that good. Yeah, and one could say that. It'll be the same argument when I use with Carson when I say, well, but I'm just being honest. I'm really not trying to throw a shot. I'm serious.
But
it's the same argument.
You can shoot all you want at him.
Hold up, let me get my man on here.
I was going to say.
Let me get my man on here. Oh man, I didn't even plug him in. Hold on, I plugged him in now. Yeah. I think he's up. Yeah. Let me just finish this statement. How you doing, Coach? But it's the same argument that I use with Carson, right? Because Carson's played with a top 5 running game every season that he was there, which helped his numbers, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying, I mean, when he don't play with those weapons, Is he really that good? I'm just saying. It's just I don't know. It's just you know.
Listen, we'll definitely get back to it, but so
good point though.
No, it is. It is. Coach, we apologize for the delay there. We are welcome and happy to have Coach John Ross from the Overbrook Rams boys basketball team joining us this morning. Coach, how are you?
Oh man, good morning, guys. I've been better. I just turned on ESPN and I saw we're on top 4 after losing to Haddonfield last night. So.
Oh man.
I got my coffee and all of a sudden I turn it on and we're on ESPN on a buzzer beater loss. So.
Wow. You know what's funny? I did hear about that loss, and they said I don't know what kind of mood Coach is going to be in this morning.
Oh man, I just want to get it out of the way now. You guys want to ask me questions about the game right now? Just get it out of the way.
It happens, man. It happens. You know, you guys will build on this and even be better. So those things happen. Then you can do about it.
Without a doubt. I love the guys. The guys played hard. It was a great game.
And you can do.
Oh, absolutely. So I think, well, we'll bypass the game. We know it was a rough loss. It was a learning experience. Like I said, again, I appreciate you joining us. Just kind of getting into it. Like I said, tell us a little bit about your team this year. Highlight some of the players, and just start from there, and then we'll go and kind of have some more questions and whatnot for you after that.
Yeah, we're 6-4. We got a lot of young talent. It's really, really good sophomore class. We got Jalen Hornsby, who's a 6'3" lefty. He can do essentially almost everything. Extremely athletic. I got a 6'6" sophomore, Chris Greer, who's just getting better every single day. He's a big man. I got Jaden Greer, who's a good energy guy off the bench. I got Nick Johnson, who's also fantastic. He's a great shooter. And then we have in our junior class, we have Devin Johnson, who's been lighting it up. I think he's one of the best 3-point shooters in South Jersey. We got David Haywood, who runs the show. He's extremely long. Gets a lot of steals. He's averaging like almost 5 steals a game. And then, man, who else we got? Justin Galda, who's a great energy guy, great role player for us. Just a good group of young guys. So it makes my job easy. I don't got to do a lot. So.
Absolutely. So when you yourself with your team, what's your coaching style, your expectations as a coach, kind of what is your foundations of your program?
Yeah, I mean, this is my 4th year. Really built. I got really lucky in my first year. I got given like guys like Devon Thornton, Julian Durr, Shamar. Had a great solid foundation of guys when I first started. So we really built upon defense first. Really went up with that, building chemistry with each other, knowing that we had to work in the off season. So that's how we laid the foundation, and it just kind of carried on, keeping kids at home, making sure they're not going to other schools and things like that. Keeping the talent in the school makes my job a lot easier. And then the guys just put the work in, and they buy into what we're selling, and it's made like I said, it makes my job easy when they're doing that.
Absolutely. You brought up a good point of keeping the kids in the school. And I think that's a barrier that coaches face now more than ever before. And you're even not seeing it at the high school level. Now you're seeing it at the college level. How do you kind of say, this is why you need to stay here? What do you promote from your program? If you say one of your kids is looking to transfer, you say, listen, this is why you should be here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is building relationships and just getting to know the kids. So my first step is always like going down to the youth program, talking to the kids, talking to the parents, and just telling them like, hey, I don't only care about them as a basketball player, but also off the court. So I hold all of our kids accountable for their grades. Like I check in every Monday and say, listen, if you have this F by next Monday, you're going to have to, lose some playing time. Things like that. And I really think that not only the kids realize how important it is, but the parents really think they actually realize all right, we're here for the kids, not just for winning basketball games.
I mean, absolutely. And like I said, I think that is something that it does get lost at times, where, these are student athletes, not athlete students. And, keeping the kids on track, keeping them focused on the bigger picture of, basketball is here. Basketball is something that you guys can play and an extracurricular and get involved in. Some of you have a chance for it to help take you into different places, but the classroom is where you need to start at. Marcus, you got questions for Coach?
So I got Coach. How are you?
Good. How are you, Coach?
Doing well. So I got a quick story for you guys about Coach. So Coach and I, we were kind of working together on like a little project that didn't end up working out. But anyway, so we were texting back and forth this summer, and we were about to play in a little, exhibition game or whatever you want to call it, over at Peak Skills. So he's texting me about my team, like, yeah, we're struggling to get 5 guys. And he's like, yeah, we're struggling to get guys in the gym. Everybody's got different schedules. So I'm like, all right, cool. So, he's struggling, They came out and hit their first 8, 9, 10 shots. Look up, the score is like 24-2. And I'm like, yeah. He gave me the Jordan shrug, like, yeah, I don't know.
It was just our day that day. We were shooting.
Oh man! But no, they have a very talented team. So with that, Coach, what are your, we're kind of in the meat of the schedule right now. What do your practices look like these days? How do you make sure guys are fresh, but while still making sure that you're getting done what you need to get done? Just go into that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know this. You run into a lot of injuries mid-season, and it's something that lingers. So at this point, I'm starting to chop down the schedule. The time we practice. So, beginning of the season, you're going 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And at this point, you're going like an hour and 15 just to like prepare for the next game. So doing a lot of that, a lot more film at this point. I would say we're also doing a lot of stretching just because like that. I don't think kids realize how important it is to stretch. They think, when we're doing like our stuff and being the practice that they're like just going through the motion. Like you guys don't understand how important it is to get your hips moving, stretch everything. So these are things that we're trying to hammer down because at this point we have everything in that we need against anything we see. So it's just making sure we're ready for the next game, getting shots up, a lot of shooting and skill work, and just keeping them engaged by making it competitive. We try to make every drill competitive, some type of points and things like that, winners and losers and all that stuff. Because, I've kind of realized over my past couple of years that the only way the kids really want to have fun and I think compete, and that's part of like basketball. You got to compete to have fun. So each drill, you got to keep some type of points, and that makes them work harder. And it carries over into the game when we're in a dogfight.
Now, as a coach, what do you kind of hang your hat on? What is your, this is the kind of team I want to be, and I want when people see us play, this is what I want them to notice about us.
I would definitely say first is our defense. I'm a big defense guy. I like aggressive half-court man-to-man. So I wanted people to know, like, all right, like, when we go play Overbrook, it's going to be tough. Like they're going to be in your face. They're going to be pushing the pace. They're going to make you make mistakes. And that's the style that I like. And then I also want them to see that we share the ball. I think that's my other big thing is, it's not a one-man show. There's 5 guys on the court. I love plays where I see driving kicks, the ball being swung, one more pass for a 3. I love that type of stuff. And we incorporate that in the practice just so it does come out on the court.
Cool. Now, Jay, what are your questions for Coach?
I met Coach at a and he probably doesn't even remember, but I met him at where were we? We were at what's that school with no air conditioning? Haddon Heights. And he played my I'm a fan of their team. I'm just not a strong fan because they beat my Pennsgrove team last year. But his teams are really good though. Yeah. They had, especially last year. Did you guys win last year? You won it all last year?
We lost to Wildwood in the Tri-County Championship.
Oh, the train. Okay, all right. They were really good though. They were like a really good team. They had a guard. And I know it because I was announcing their names, right? So I always remember Juanico or whatever. Was it Juanico?
Yeah,
right.
That was
the Kenny. Juanico. Right. Yes. But Hornsby was getting busy too, though. So, and then they had the guard Devin. They had a lot of different pieces that I didn't, when I first saw them, I was like, oh, we should be able to get this game. But then when I'm like, they're tough, though. They tough. They can play inside out. You know what I'm saying? So, but with that being said, you talked about like just you named all these different players, right? And this is kind of what's on my mind right now. So I gotta speak on it. So these different players, they have unique skills, they have talent, right?
Right.
tough is it for you as a coach to make sure that each of them, that you're maximizing all of their talents definitely for the grade of the team, right, but also for their individualized portfolios and success so that they can go on to next level and stuff like that.
Right. I mean, the first thing, so this way no one gets like, jealous or anything like that, is just having the guys buy into their roles. Like sitting down with them one-on-one, kind of like, hey, like for us to be successful and for you to be successful, we need you to do these type of things or be this type of player. It also makes it easy that they're all friends. So they all like want what's best for the team since they'll leave practice together. They'll all, like I think like this weekend, like 8 of them like were at the same house hanging out. And they all roll in together for the next day game. So that definitely helps. And then I think all coaches have to do this at this point is have a social media presence. Creating huddle films and things like that, reaching out to coaches, and then trying to get them on AAU teams, putting in extra time, and then like working with them individually, doing morning shoot arounds. Things like that makes it show that you really care about their development. You're not just worried about one kid. So, and then, like I said, like just sending it out as film to as many people as you can. I think that helps them buy into the program and also buy into the better of like the whole team.
Got you.
Now, just to kind of piggyback off of that, what Jason said, we've been bringing up the topic of captains to all the coaches that we've had on, and a couple two-part question is A, do you have captains on your team, and B, how do you go about selecting it and the criteria to become a captain on your team?
Yeah, I mean, like most of the time, it's just people a lot of these kids, when they've been on the varsity floor, they become leaders because they've been around, they've seen things. So they start to get vocal with kids that are like sophomores or freshmen. So it makes it easy when they step up and start talking. So, I mean, it's really just kind of comes down to the feel of the team, if I'm being honest. Just kind of seeing who they look up to, the energy of the practice based upon like the player. Like, and I always hold like we have 3 captains, and I always hold them accountable more than anybody else because the way they act is how everyone else is going to act throughout the practice. So it's definitely just kind of like a feel thing for me. Just kind of like choose who I think really brings the energy for our practice.
I actually have another question.
Go ahead, Jay.
And I'm asking the question because I may be that person. How do you deal with parents when they here actually it's probably a 2-part question. Do you have parents that complain? And if you do, how do you deal with them? You as a coach, because you still have to steady the ship, right? So I'll be honest, I might be one of those parents that complains, right? But how do you deal with that though? How do you deal with that? Do you listen, or do you just kind of like, you're like the captain of the ship, so you have the intel to be able to keep the ship steady? Yeah.
I think my biggest thing is like when that's going on is having a face-to-face meeting. I think through emails get all misconstrued when we're doing that. You take just the way you write something might sound different than what it would be in person. So I'm a big if you have a problem, shoot me an email. Let's set up the time and we can go through it. And I have 20 kids, and I know they all have parents that wants the best for them. So, and they might have insight that I don't even know about. So I want to have that relationship with them by having face-to-face meetings or giving them phone calls just to make sure that, everything's okay. Because it takes a village. So that's like the biggest thing is just being connected.
That's a great answer. So with that being said, I can tell just by that statement that you make is that that's something that you kind of welcome, so to speak, where you're not like upset that it's happening.
No, I mean, I always I'm a big we're not gonna talk strategy. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like we're doing what's best for our program, but like it's your child. Like I want to talk to you about like what you think is best for your kid. So right. Yeah, I'm definitely open to all that. I don't take like offense when they're like talking badly about something or whatever it is. I think that's just kind of part of coaching, if I'm being honest. And I tell the same thing for my guys, man. Like I tell them like my door's always open. If you guys want to sit down and you don't like something we're running, or, you don't like, we had a problem in practice and you want to chop it up. I think that's communication is key. And I always tell the kids that, like, you got to communicate about everything. Otherwise this isn't going to work.
Right. Got you. Thank you for that.
No, absolutely. So one of the things too, Coach, I know we had brought it up to some other coaches back before too, is they went away with the Tournament of Champions at the end of the season, and just in general, what were your thoughts on that when you read about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big history thing. It's hard. It's sad to see it go. I know in recent years, it's sometimes it's tough for a Group 1 to then go up and play against like a Roselle Catholic, things like that. So I understand like the mentality about it, because they might see it's like, why are we really doing this? Because it's mostly just the same schools sometimes that end up in the top. But I think for the history of New Jersey, it's like, I don't understand why we can't just keep it around.
Yeah. Coach, did you have?
Yeah, Coach, you have a very young team. I believe when we spoke before, you don't even have any seniors that are in the mix. I think that could be right. But
yeah, you're right.
Approach that.
All sophomores and juniors.
Okay. So do you approach that differently than if you were to have a senior-led team, or is your approach different with this group than it will be in the next couple of years when those guys are older and getting ready to leave?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice because we're going to bring everyone back.
Right.
Like the success we're having this year, it makes it nice because then it just piggybacks for next year. So like we're scheduling like a Cherry Hill East, we're scheduling Cherokee, we're scheduling all these really good teams because we want to be one of the top programs, in South Jersey. So the only way you do that is you play the top. So I definitely have changed a little bit, but I hold them accountable like it would be a senior. Like I treat like our top players like they're seniors every single day, because that's only going to make them better, and it's only going to make us better for the next 2-3 years.
Now, Coach, where did you play? Did you have what was your playing career? Like, are you from the Overbrook area, or originally from another area, South Jersey? I'm assuming. Yeah. I said South Jersey. Tell us a little about
It's early.
A little bit about you.
So I grew up I bounced around a little bit. I ended up in Stratford. I went to Sterling. I was not a great basketball player. I was at Sterling when Hiltner was there and Robbie Atteen. I think the reason I'm a coach because I was so used to sitting on the bench and watching the games. I kind of built up my time to do what I'm doing now. So, I went to Sterling, did my 4 years at Monmouth and hung out, and then came back and I got an education and was lucky enough to get a job at Overbrook, where a lot of my family actually is from Pine Hill. So
okay.
I have a big, almost like every teacher that's been around and has been there all know the thumbs. Like all the thumbs have been going there. So it's like depending on what you want to call us, thumbs or thumbs. So,
right.
But yeah, it's nice because it's almost as a family feel now at Overbrook, since all my mom's gone there, my uncles. So it's pretty cool that I get to now be a coach and a teacher there.
Okay. Oh, you're a teacher. What subject?
History.
Oh, US 1 and 2 or what?
They give me everything, man. I got the book. Oh. I got world history. I got US 1. I got US 2. They just throw me in everything.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Good stuff.
I'm like between basketball and trying to teach, jumping from the French Revolution into World War I. I'm like all over the place.
Right.
And drawing up plays on the whiteboard when I'm talking about
right. And that's right. Those are all. He got all graduate requirements too. That's the thing. You do financial literacy?
No, that's our math department handle.
That's math. Oh, okay. I got you. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Yep. Good stuff, though.
So one of the things, Coach, is for you. Like I said, obviously, I know you said you were with your playing and your coaching career. Who was like impact for you as far as when you were as a coach, and who's one of who you kind of try to model yourself after, take your most advice from?
Yeah, I mean, how much time you guys got? I got a bunch of names. I could.
Yeah, we're not in any hurry.
There's so many good coaches, man. I mean, I talk to Bill Hiltner, who's a legend at Sterling, all the time. I've got a lot of my man-to-man concepts from him, and Dan Stewart, who was my freshman coach at Sterling. I always pick his brain. And then I coached with Kansas East for 2 years. So I was like heavily like always talking to him, trying to figure out my way. And then I talked to like a bunch of guys. Like I talked to Cassidy. I talked to Behringer all the time. Behringer's a fantastic dude to talk to. Robbie Atteen I talked to. Just there's so many guys that I've just learned so much from. And I think it's important for all the coaches just to talk to each other because you can always take pieces away from it.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. How about you, Marcus? What do you got for Coach?
So, I mean, my final question is always the same question for all our coaches. And I kind of have a feeling I think I know where you're going to go with this. But, you know, we're continuing to try to grow our presence in South Jersey and reach out to new coaches. Who do you think would be a good coach for us to have on the show? And also with that, you know, you're going to have to help us get that person on the show.
Yeah. No, also, yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, just mentioning the guys I was just talking about. Getting Kansas East on here is always a good one. I don't know if you guys have talked to him yet.
Yeah, Coach Kansas on last year.
Okay. And then I would say Behringer. If you guys haven't had Behringer's, just I mean, the amount of information he's got and the way he runs his program is great. He's got a lot of stuff to talk about. So he would be a really good one to get on here. Or if you can get Cassidy on here, Cassidy's fantastic. And then if you want to go on the girls' side, you can also do Coach Considine from Bishop Eustace. He does a great job with that program. And then and then also Wiedemann from last night from Haddonfield. He's one of the best. He's probably the best in South Jersey that does it.
That'd be a great one to have on. Absolutely.
All right. Well, then, Coach. So like I said, I'll be in contact with you to kind of facilitate that and getting those coaches information. So before we do go now, outside of the court, are you much of a sports fan outside the?
Oh yeah. I used to get like 2 Birds tickets like every year. I used to go to these 2 games every year. I used to have like partial season tickets to Sixers, so I'm all in all for the Phillies. So I'm all about it.
Okay, so with that said, first I want to ask your thoughts on the Eagles season and your thoughts on Jalen Hurts. So first, that's my first question to you.
All right. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. At the end of the season, I was like, "Get rid of this coach. I'm out. I'm done." I was like, between him and the defense, I was like, I couldn't do it. But I mean, I love it now, man. I'm bought in. I'm bought in on Jalen Hurts. I think you got to give him like 2 or 3 years and give him some pieces. I think you got to get some defensive tackles in there and really get some pressure for the defense. I think the kid just needs some more weapons. He's got no help. I mean, he's got Devontae Smith, but he doesn't have that other presence that can go up for jump balls and things like that. I mean, you got Quiz Watkins out there who's a practice squad guy. I mean, what do you want this guy to do? So absolutely. I'm really bought into it, man. I'm all about him. So
yeah, listen, I'd like to just give you a little round of applause. I'll give you a little round of applause. That's all. I share the same sentiments that you have.
I don't know why he's looking at me. I've done nothing.
Who's racking on my man Jalen Hurts? Who am I talking to right now?
I am not.
No, just we're not going to say who it is. Just look at where the heads look at.
No.
That's all you gotta do.
In all fairness, and Marcus, you gotta back me up here. I have been a Jalen Hurts supporter.
So, Coach, here's the issue.
There's a bigger picture here.
You don't want Wentz. Don't tell me you wanted Wentz to stay, because then we got real problems.
Hold on. For a little while.
Randy is a huge. Well, I'll say this: was a huge Carsonite. Huge.
Yeah, okay.
But I will say he has come around. He's it's like when you break up with a girl, like he's just getting over her.
Right.
He's coming around to the next one, and he's fine with the next one, but he still looks in the rearview mirror every once in a while.
Goodness!
And if I can add to that, because I think that's a perfect analogy, is when you break up with a girl, you're starting to come around. But see, the difference is, though, sometimes that dude, he plays the front in front of his boys. Right. But then when he goes home, he's like, baby, please. Please come back.
Well, now that the barrage came out, listen, I think you're right, though, Coach. Like I said, and that's what we were saying earlier. And, I know, and you've seen it. People saying, "Oh, we need to go and trade for a Deshaun Watson, trade for a Russell Wilson," and I'm completely against that. Like that, I think would be the worst idea at all.
And if I'm like, what do we have? 3 first-round picks this year, I think, right? And obviously, I think you can package that and then get it. We're terrible at drafting wideouts and linebackers, so use those picks to get someone who's already established, and then we'll be rocking.
Absolutely. I mean, even like there was rumors I saw the other day, like if Russell Wilson leaves, then like DK Metcalf would be on the market, do something like that. Now, transitioning over, because I know you said you're a Sixers guy too. What do you recently, with the Sixers in general, I'm going to talk about Ben Simmons and where they're at. What are your thoughts on Doc Rivers and the Sixers in general right now, the state of the Sixers?
I mean, I love Doc. I mean, you can't. I love Embiid. I think they're doing the fact that they're playing and they have so much chemistry right now with all the crazy drama that they have is absolutely it's wild. It just shows how good of a coach Doc is to keep them disengaged when they have this circus going on with Ben Simmons. So, I love Maxey. I think Maxey's a stud. I think he's be like a great point guard for us. I just think you got to load up and get some wings for us, and I think trade Ben Simmons, get us some talent. I would really like getting either Halliburton or Murray from San Antonio. I think those would be like great things to trade for.
Yes.
I just think you get them out of here, man. I'm sick as if I could send them to Alaska, I would.
The only thing about it like that, like I'm okay if it's just Ben for like Halliburton, Healed, and whatever. But when you're talking about Tobias, and then I heard even Thibault or something like that, I think that's not equitable.
I was happy they denied that one. They said that they with Thibault in there. I'm like, I want Thibault here for the next 10 years. You can't get him.
Yeah, I don't think that's equitable for us. But I do think that with Maxey playing the way he's playing, I don't think you need another lead guard. But I don't know if just Halliburton. I think Healed would be a nice fit.
Yeah.
Because he could shoot too, right?
Yeah.
So he would be a really nice fit. And then Halliburton, I haven't really seen Halliburton play like that. So he's tough.
He's tough.
He's averaging like 16 a game or something.
Not a shooter, but
he's not a shooter. Okay, so I mean, I'm not okay. I'm okay with that. I would love Jaylen Brown. If we get Jaylen Brown, we are a title contender.
Well, that's the dream right there.
That is the dream.
Give me Jaylen Brown for Simmons. I'm good. We're winning everything. We got Jaylen Brown on the wing.
I think it could happen because Boston is just not very good.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just not very good. And it's almost like it's the same problem they had with like Embiid and Simmons. It's like Brown and Tatum. They other than that first year, they really haven't been successful.
They overlap. They do the same thing.
They do the same thing. So I don't know. I hope that there's some trades. Now, growing up, I know you said you were a Philly fan. You like the Sixers, the Eagles. How about like the New Jersey Devils or the Giants or back then when they were
it's been fun. I can't be talking about that type of stuff.
Thank you. No.
Really?
Listen, go ahead. No, you want to hold on, because you want to throw me under the bus too. Well, ask him tell Coach why you're asking this.
Well, because they play in his state. That's why I'm asking. I mean, they're your home team. So it's just asking about those. That's your home team. So that's what I'm saying. Like the New Jersey Devils. I'm not going to say the New York Giants because even though we do have the New York emblem on that, they still play in the Meadowlands, which benefits all of us, right?
No, it doesn't benefit me at all.
Well, no, it does. I mean, on a government level, it does. Though,
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
So you should be a Giants fan then.
No, what do you mean? Why shouldn't I?
Because they play in New Jersey.
No, we rent space from New Jersey.
So here's the thing, though, Coach.
We rent space. There's a difference.
Here's the thing, though, Coach.
Then why should we be Giants fans?
No, I'm saying because the space that we rent, you benefit from. We all benefit from it.
Now you're bringing finances into this. This is just talking straight sports. So Jay has always said he doesn't understand why. Now Jay's from New York, Long Island area.
Okay.
And he says he can move for any team in New York.
All New Yorkers will always tell you that they are New York. They root for all New York teams. Bottom line, that you ask any New Yorker, they'll tell you the same thing.
No, but I mean, all of a sudden, he's a Buffalo Sabres fan one day. He's a New York Islanders fan the next day.
They're in New York.
So
they're in New York. I mean, and that's
one of the biggest states.
But see, that's where I'm wondering, why don't you guys have that same love for your home state?
It's like
that's just the question I'm
Jersey,
asking.
And you should know this. Jersey is broken down. South Jersey and North Jersey, like 2 different areas.
Yep.
Devils, Giants, no. Nets at the time, that's all North.
Go ahead.
When I went to Monmouth, like it was like that's like smack dab in the middle of the state.
Right.
So we had New York fans and Philly fans, so it got interesting up there all the time. And that's what we would always argue about: is that North and South Jersey and Philly fans versus New York fans. I was actually up there when the Yankees beat the Phillies in the World Series, which was one of the worst experiences for about 2 weeks after that, with all my roommates and stuff like that. My wife is actually from Wayne, New Jersey, so I pass the lands every single time I go up there.
Right.
Make sure I spit out the window every time I go.
My man. My man. Listen, Coach.
I mean, but that was a great World Series, though. That's what we.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal World Series.
It was really good. It's a shame that Cliff Lee, because I think the Yankees that year, we were getting on Cliff Lee and his wife. They couldn't take it.
Couldn't handle it.
They couldn't handle it, so they signed with the Phillies.
And then Matsui was just out of his mind that World Series.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember. I just remember winning. That's all I remember.
Oh, of course.
That's all.
Well, listen, Coach, I really do appreciate you joining us on the show today. Phenomenal interview with you. Great insight. We enjoyed your take on the Eagles and the Sixers. Once again, if you guys are just tuning in, this is Coach John Ross from the Overbrook Rams. And, he's been joining us for about the last 20, 25 minutes or so. Go back and check out his interview. Coach, we really appreciate it. And again, we'll appreciate your help and support in growing the show and continuing to move forward.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. You guys are doing a great job, man. I love watching all your stuff. It's doing awesome.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate you, sir.
All right, Coach, we'll be in contact. Thank you very much.
Hey, have a good day, guys.
Have a good one.
You too, brother. Yeah, let's give Coach another round of applause.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Great interview. But I realized though, I did realize that Jersey is almost like tofu.
You didn't just realize that. You said that
before. It's like tofu.
I don't know if I've heard this analogy from.
It's like it just takes on different flavors. It just takes on.
No, it doesn't take. It
takes on different flavors. Well, that's what tofu does.
I know it does.
Doesn't matter what you put it with. It'll take on that flavor.
Oh, well, I remember back in the day, I had at Cherry Hill. Said, what was her name? It was a Spanish teacher. Oh goodness, can't think of her name. No, I know.
Did you have her class? Did you pass it?
I passed it. But she was vegetarian, right? Okay. And she was like, I want all you guys to try tofurkey because it's going to be the same as your Thanksgiving turkey. And she brought like in a big one and gave pieces out to the whole class. And I told her, I said, this is not turkey you had. That is not turkey. So, but no, it was a great interview with Coach. Just, very entertaining, talking about, very young up and coming team. I feel like they're, having a solid season. I think we're going to hear some noise from them next season too as they get older.
Yeah. And it was a really good team.
Yeah.
Really last year, they were a really good team.
I remember that too, Jay, when we were doing and it was Kenny Waniko. Yeah. And I think it was Hornsby too.
Yeah, Hornsby, yeah. And they had like a guard that was tough too. Point guard, he was a senior. But yeah, they were tough. They were tough, surprisingly tough. It was like one of those teams. Yeah. Like, wow, I didn't know they were that good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But they were really good and coached very well too, as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the things, just to follow up those with him, we haven't really gotten into too much Sixers talk. I mean, we talked a little bit, but Embiid's playing out of his mind right now. Yes. I mean, he's just unbelievable. MVP right now. If you ask a lot of people, another thing too is. With Doc, and people always get on him, and like Coach and Rosser said that he's a big Doc fan. But you're very split kind of with a lot of Sixers fans on where they're at with Doc. And then like the other night, after the loss, which was another bad loss at home, they blew the 24-point lead. Doc was irritated in his post-game press conference about it, and he said, "Would you ask Pop that question?" What were your thoughts on that, and just kind of Rivers in general right now? Like, where are you at with him?
Well, I mean, again, I'm razor sharp today, so what I'm saying, like,
and I know Doc, you're right.
It's the same argument. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. I'll just go back to break bread. When I said break bread, it's construed a certain way. I'm judged a certain way, and what I told the person, honestly, I said, listen, I don't understand what you mean by ghetto talk, but But I think I understand because I'm used to being judged for all my life. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say where Doc is trying to basically throw a contrast that, hey, listen, if it was Popovich that happened, would you come at? How come I haven't garnered the respect where I've been a world champion coach? I've turned teams around. I've been doing this for a long time. How come when there's collapses, it's on? You know what I'm saying? I get what he's saying.
No, I think you're right.
I also will say this though. I never felt like they were going to win that game. That's part of the reasons why I didn't go to the game, because I was going to go. But number one, I didn't feel like taking that walk in that cold. It was cold as hell. But then secondly, they were depleted, the Clippers. And I just think that when you play depleted teams, you play down to their level and you take them for granted. And I think that's what the Sixers did. They took them for granted.
Yeah.
That happens.
Isn't that coaching?
I mean, part of it, I think, is coaching. But I also think it's players too. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, like Tyson, and he's a boxer, right? He's, won all these fights. When he fought Buster Douglas, he didn't think that he was like, I'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? I train a little bit. I'm good. This is garbage. You know what I'm saying? I'll be just fine. You know what I'm saying? But then, when you least expect it, sometimes you can't sleep on those individuals. So I think that this was a wake-up call for the Sixers. They've done this before, though. It's not like the first time. This has happened before with them.
Well, that's the frustration I think you get with a lot of the fans is they're like, is you consistently see these bad losses, and it happens at home a lot.
Yeah, and I think with the state of the Sixers and what they're undermanned.
Yeah.
Right. So you're missing a big part of your team. Whether that's Simmons or whoever you get for Simmons, you're missing a spot.
Right.
So every win, and they're still in the mix, right? So every win is more important now.
Sure.
So I think that's the frustration that I have is that, like, if you go out and you just get beat by a team that from start to finish, you just don't have it that night. I get that. That happens in the NBA. There's 82 games. I get that. But when you have a lead against a team that's depleted, like you're saying, those are games you have to bring home.
Right.
Because it's going to haunt you down the stretch when you're the 6th seed. And now you're fighting. Do I have to play in the play-in? Do I not? Am I home? Am I not? I think those are things that you can't let slip away.
No, you're right.
You're absolutely right. I think listen, I don't like it.
Right.
But I just don't want to. I'm not. When they lost the game, I wasn't like, oh, Doc Rivers sucks, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, my leash for him is still out there. If it had been Brett Brown, then I'd say, oh, Brett Brown's got to go, blah, 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 because my leash has already been out there. Yeah. It's been there.
Well, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? So Doc still has a chance. I'm okay with it. I'm not saying that, hey, listen, the loss, I'm not at that point where I'm saying, oh, this loss is on Doc. I'm just saying, hey, listen, you know what? They lost. That's a terrible loss. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I feel like it's his situation, then I'm going to say, oh, Doc lost this game for us.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't feel like that.
Well, I thought you bring up a good point. And even just going back to the statement that Doc made, he absolutely was saying that too, as he should. About, you're only bringing it up to me because of, I'm a black coach. You wouldn't bring it up to Pop. And again, he's always trying to close that gap. And I know he always does, even outside the court. Right. So you're absolutely right about that. And the other thing too, just with, like you said, Coach, is that the Sixers are undermanned. Right. The Sixers are having guys play like Korkmaz playing minutes that he shouldn't be playing. And guys, even George Niang, who's been disappointing, but he's taking shots and he's getting playing time you shouldn't be doing. You got guys coming in, that are, what's his name? The young kid, Junior.
Charlie Brown?
Yeah, Charlie Brown Jr. I mean, like, you got guys getting minutes that they normally wouldn't be getting, and that's got to be considered too. So,
well, that's every team in the league right now, though.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I agree with you. But, I'm not a big Doc fan as it is. I think his teams have underperformed throughout his career. But I don't blame what's going on right now with the Sixers with their struggles. Because without Simmons, if you would have told me they are where they are right now, I would have taken it. because I thought they were going to be much worse than they are.
Where they're at, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're 3 games out of the top spot, and you're right. That's exactly what it is. And I mean, and it's just with Embiid, and it's a constant conversation. Is like you got to maximize Embiid's peak right now, and it's like the more that we continue to go with the Simmons situation, and the more that we're not putting the pieces around him. You look at it and you're like, man, are we really going to waste Joel Embiid?
Well, you're not going to win this year. You're not winning this year. So that's.
Well, it depends on the move. It depends on the move.
But I mean, if you make a Jaylen Brown move, then I think you're in that conversation. But I think that's why they're being patient by saying, hey, listen, you know what? We're already middle of the road.
Yeah.
We're already top, needling on that top tier team. So why just make something that is just going to keep us in the same position?
Yeah, I mean, Daryl Morey, like I said the other day, even in his interview, like I actually liked his interview a lot and what he said. He didn't sugarcoat anything, and he just put it out there. Like you said, we're not just going to make the move to make the move, and I don't care about making a move and focus on it right now. It's long term, and he's just steady in what he says about Ben, and I think that's why I respect the position that he has.
Well, and in addition to that, I think that them being where they're at right now, I think matters most. I think that's a good situation. So, you know what I'm saying? If they're like under 500, 12th and 13th, 14th in the league, you'd hear a lot more.
Right.
But right now, where they're sitting at 4 right now.
Something like that, yeah.
With like 3 games back of being 1.
Yeah, I mean, they're sitting at 6. I was just looking at
6?
It. Yeah, but like you said, they're 6, but then they could be 4 or even 3.
They're right there.
Yeah.
So they're right there. You know what I mean? So, a game here, a game there. Now, especially with Brooklyn now, with Durant out, Kyrie's only playing on the road. There's opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Milwaukee, they lost. I think they should suspend Grayson Allen.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. He's such trash. I hate Grayson Allen.
I'm not going to say trash.
No, he's trash.
Okay. Well,
and he's been trash since he's been at Duke, so I have no respect for him at all.
I got you. But he actually made them a little better, Milwaukee. But they got to get him under control. He needs to miss some time because that's a terrible play.
Yeah, now Caruso got a fractured wrist.
Right. And now that Bulls team that everybody was so in love with, they got the injury bug now. Right. See? Right. Lonzo's out. Caruso's out. I think somebody else is out, too.
Levine's out.
Who?
Levine's
out. Right. So now we'll, I don't know. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? The Lakers, Russell's playing a little better.
Well, yeah, I mean, he responded
to the benching.
Yeah, he did. I always laugh though too, because even like the other day, of course, they asked LeBron about the whole situation, and they go Frank Vogel and everything, and he's like, I don't make these decisions, I don't control everything, and I just sit back and laugh. I'm like, come on, you do. He said the inappropriate statements, but
I think they get it together though. I don't think it's done. I told you, I think that it just takes a little time. It takes a little time. These older guys, when it's time for them to lock in, they'll lock in though. They'll lock in. Is Davis back?
No.
He was supposed to be back though.
I don't know when he's come back.
Oh, okay. I thought he was supposed to be back.
I don't know. I mean, like, there's like the rumors of Russ being traded, and I don't know. Did Westbrook play in Houston? Yeah.
He did, right? Yeah. With Harden?
Yes.
Wasn't successful.
It's all right. They lost in the conference finals, semifinals, something like that.
I think,
Okay. Okay.
And then they traded him for John Wall.
Oh, right. And that's when that was the end of the right. But yeah, I just don't think that I think Russell will be just fine.
All right. I mean,
Like
he did respond. He did respond.
Okay, so they'll be fine. I'm just hoping that some trades happen. I think Boston's going to be a trade partner. Would you go for Dame Lillard, even though he's injured right now?
No.
You wouldn't do it?
No.
Okay. At all? Just
Too
because
much
of the injury or what?
Injuries, and then he's due a huge contract after next year that's going to really handcuff you.
Okay.
So, and I think if he was on a playoff team right now, he'd probably be playing. I mean, he just had the surgery, but I think he would be playing like I think he might be done for the season because they're not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I think you can. I'm not gonna say you can do better than that, but I think you can get something that's a little bit more efficient.
It fits more. Yeah.
What about trading Ben to New York?
For who?
Are you gonna get Randall?
Oh, Randall's been trash.
Well, he hasn't been the number one, but
No.
really he shouldn't be number one. But what if New York needs a point guard? Ben Simmons would be good for them. But who do you take though?
I don't care what would be good for them.
You don't want anything from them. Yeah.
I don't really know what you
There's
get.
nothing that they have that I'm like.
What if you can get RJ Barrett?
Nope.
You don't want it.
Nope.
I really like the looking at San Antonio and Murray. I don't even know if he'd be available, but I really like his
I
game.
like Murray too.
I really like his game.
You like him for the Sixers though?
Yeah,
Him and Tyrese are not similar.
Well,
They're not similar.
Bigger. He's 6'6",
and he's more of a scorer.
defender.
You know,
I don't know. I was going through it the other day. I don't know what the trade is anymore. I have no clue what the. I don't think you're getting Jaylen Brown. I don't think Boston's going to trade him. I don't.
What about this Buddy Hield?
That's the only one that keeps coming up.
well, I think but Buddy's not enough. Just Buddy Hield for Simmons. I mean,
So what about the Buddy? I'll take Buddy and De'Aaron Fox.
I don't think you're going to get Fox. I think it's going to be Halliburton,
Okay.
which I'm fine with. Halliburton's like a.
Who'd you compare his game to?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
He's a point guard or
He's a point guard, but he's big. He's like 6'6", 6'7". He's big, but he's a point guard. Can't really shoot. He's like odd. You watch him play, you're like, oh,
okay.
16. Oh,
Okay.
It's not like smooth. Like he's
Gotcha.
good, but it's just
Gotcha.
different.
Got you.
and the other thing is, I don't think that we should be including Tobias in these deals like they were talking about.
No, I don't think so either.
You know, and it's funny because, and Tobias, like I said, you know, he's still when he's playing, he's putting up the numbers.
Mhm.
You know, he's getting you 20 and 7 and 5, and
Mhm.
you know, I think people just still feel like he's not meeting the contract, and that's the frustration.
That's why I think the deal with Boston could work now. If you get Jaylen Brown and one of them other pieces over there, would you go Ben and Tobias?
I'll get rid of Tobias for. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good on Tobias.
Well,
For 50 cents on the dollar.
well, what are we getting rid of Ben? So it'd be Ben for Brown and
I think Brown and who else is on that team?
I mean, they have some good basketballs we can take back.
Right. So
I think that would be a good move though. If you can get Jaylen Brown and you know, and I think but the contracts are fairly similar, right?
I'm sure Jaylen Brown and Simmons, they all have max
I
deals.
was going to say their
They
contracts
could
are
be
similar.
one for one.
Yeah,
But the reason why I think Jaylen can happen is because if you put Ben on that team for Boston, they become dominant.
they need a point guard. Boston needs a point guard. They always have Kemba, Kyrie. They need a point guard who doesn't want to score.
ball.
They
Right.
want the point guard who wants to get them into their stuff. That's what they need.
And Ben,
And that's what Ben does. But getting rid of Jaylen Brown, that's
I think the Sixers come away big winners in that deal.
huge winners.
So
Well,
I mean,
because of fit.
yeah,
What about this now?
Jaylen Brown's better than Ben Simmons.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Fit wise, I think that if we get Jaylen Brown, we would become like a title contender because he fits exactly what we
You
need.
still got to try to find a couple pieces to come off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, you need some lettuce, tomato,
Exactly.
You know, lettuce, tomato, peppers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, pickles and all that. But now, what about Ben for Westbrook?
You know, it's funny because when I said about him being traded.
My brother put that out there. Ben for Westbrook.
I don't know.
Could it work?
I think it could work. I just look at longevity too.
Well, I mean, but according to what you're saying, that we have to maximize, Embiid's prime years.
Right, yeah.
What's Westbrook? 31?
No, I think he's older than that.
Why in the hell would we want Russell Westbrook?
I mean, well, why not?
How does he make us better? How does he make anybody on our team better?
It's a good point.
I mean, Coach has a good point. He does.
He takes away from Tyrese. He can't shoot, so he doesn't help Joe. Now he'll be able to get his every once in a while. He's not gonna help Tobias because Tobias was great when Ben was getting him the ball wide open. He doesn't do that.
Right. No.
There's no way I do that.
What about well, now he said this is funny though. He said is Westbrook an update on Maxi Pad, but is he an update? Is he an upgrade on Maxi?
I don't think he's an upgrade. I think he's a different.
Yeah, I think it's a different type of player
because I think Maxi can play with Embiid. I don't think Russ can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
because Maxi has no problem letting Joe get 50.
I got you. I think that if you trade Ben for Kemba and 40 I don't know if that's bad.
I don't want that.
I don't want that at all.
I don't want that at all. Well, listen, I mean, we got.
I don't know.
We're still going to have a lot of time to, have Sixers trade talk and whatnot. But I know that we got a little bit, kind of come to wind it down here. So I kind of want to get into our final thoughts.
Sure.
I guess the biggest thing, I'll just take it first. I mean, the one thing I want to throw it out there is I'll give my picks too for today. The Philadelphia Flyers, and I brought it up before. They have now 2 10-plus losing streaks in the same season. And if this was any of the other major teams in the Philadelphia area, they would be getting ripped on. And the Flyers just get a pass. And they just have the most loyal fans that are continuously to come out. It's just I'm calling out the Flyers because they need to be ripped more than they are publicly by this sports media. So,
well, I don't know. The people still love to go watch them.
They do.
That's exactly what
they do.
Because I went down to the game on Wednesday, and they lost, and it was kind of embarrassing the way they lost. Meaning, it went to shootout, and what's his first name?
Yeah, Carter Hart.
Carter Hart in the shootout is making great saves, keeping them in it. I think there was 9 shooters in the shootout. The Flyers maybe put the puck on the net twice.
Wow.
Twice. The other time it's going wide, it's going high. The goalie only had to make 2 saves. So it was pretty bad how they lost. But I left there like, that was fun. I'll go back.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. I was there a couple, like a month or 2 ago, and it's fun. But with that said, my picks for today, I'm going to go. I like the Bills to beat the Chiefs, and I like the Rams to beat the Bucks. So, Coach, you want to take it?
Yeah, I mean, final thoughts. Just the hopeful. What Dre said, I'm hoping for some trades here, even just to spice things up, just to shake up the league a little bit. Football wise, I think I'll go with the Bills as well, and I'm going to go with the Bucks. I think I'm going to go with Bucks. I'm going to be a New York. I'm going to be a New York City fan tonight, I can root for anybody.
That's it.
There you go.
That's it.
Jay, what are your final thoughts and your picks?
I'm gonna go with I think I'm gonna go with I think I'm gonna go with the Rams. I'm a little scared though because I don't know about Matthew Stafford. This is like a prove it game for him, right?
It is.
So I'm a little nervous for him, but I'm rocking with him. I'm hoping with Odell. Is Odell on the Rams, right? I'm hoping Odell makes some big plays. It's going to be a really good game. That's the last game too, right?
That's the 3 o'clock game.
Was 3 games on? It's 2 games. 2
games.
2 games, right? So that's the 3 o'clock game. It's 3 and it's 1 and 3, or is it 3 and 6?
3 and 6:30.
Okay, so 3 o'clock. Yeah, that's going to be a really good game. With the other game, I'm going to go with the team that Rick James is from. Rick James, the old singer, the old super freak singer. He's from Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Bills. I'm going to go with the Bills.
What a surprise.
You know what I mean?
Listen,
they're a New York team. You know, I mean, they're way out in upstate New York. And that is considered like a separate state so to speak. But we love New York. We will never alienate any part of our state. I don't know how you Jersey cats alienate.
I don't think that's true.
I don't know. I
think that is a personal opinion.
No, but Jersey cats alienate parts of the state. I don't get it.
That's true. That's a fact.
I don't get that.
I'm saying what you're saying. I think it's the same. I think New York City, Long Island, all that is one thing. And then the rest of the state is another state.
No, you're right. But
I think that's how you really treat it, except for purposes of the show.
No. Listen, we don't alienate. We don't alienate any part of the state.
All right.
I'm just saying because we call it upstate.
So let me ask you this: if you're in New York City, you're in Long Island, and some dude from Buffalo comes down, right? And whatever, say you're playing basketball. Where are you from? Man, I'm from New York. Where are you from?
You from Buffalo.
You from Buffalo. Right.
Just making sure. No. But that's New York. But that's a New Yorker versus New Yorker. Now let's say
right.
Let's
always
say
caveats.
No. Let's say we in Jersey or we in Delaware or whatever, and somebody say, I'm from New York. Oh, what part are you from? Oh, I'm from Buffalo. Oh, all right. New York.
No, Jersey's the same way.
Is it the same way?
Yes. If we're not in Jersey, we're Jersey.
Okay.
If we're in Jersey, no, you're from North Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is that when you're in Jersey, you're still not rooting for your Jersey team, though. That's what I'm saying. You sided with PA. You're turncoating. You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen. With that said, once again, another great show today. A lot of support out there recently for the show. A lot of more, viewers during our shows, and a lot of support, on the social media, and we appreciate that. Once again, we appreciate Coach John Rosser from the Overbrook Rams. He joined us right about 15, 20 minutes into the show, so we'll be putting that out there so you guys can catch his interview. Once again, for Jason Bryce, from Marcus Bullock, I'm Randy Dutkin. Catch us on Instagram, Facebook, the Let's Get It page. Thanks a lot, and catch you next time.